Hey guys, I'm Miss Martin, and we are back again today for our number talks. Now, before we begin our number talks, let's go over some of our vocabulary words. And let's look at the cork board that's right over here that's labeled vocabulary. The first term we're going to go over is known as place value, and that is talking about your numbers. Now, you take your numbers and you look at the value of each digit inside that number. Now, let's say, like today, our number of the day is 68. If you want to go over place value, you've got to see first you look at where the digits are and determine the value. Right here, this is your tens and this is your ones. So the place value of this 6 would be 6 tens or 60. Our next vocabulary word is number. And numbers are things that you use every single day. Numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes when we get to be two digits, they take two of those numbers and put them together. And then number 3 is your ones, and that is the smallest unit when you're talking about place value. Ones are just your little itty bitty little ones, little one blocks. And our number right here, if you look at your number of the day, which is 68, you have 8 little ones. Now your tens, your tens are showing you the tens place value. How many tens are in a number? So if you look at this number right here, you have ones and then you have tens. And your tens represent how many tens are in that number. In this one, you have 6 tens. Number 5 there's a really easy way to remember expanded form. So when you expand a number, you take your whole number and you expand it with a number sentence. And you'll see us do that with our number of the day. Now, number 6 is standard form. Now, with standard form, you have your number, and it is just written the normal way. Standard just means normal, and the normal way to write a number is the same way that I have 68 written down here. 68 is written in standard form. So those are vocabulary words. Now let's think a second. I know when we're doing number talks that I've got to figure out a way to represent a number. I can look at its place value. I can look at the digits and each of its place value parts. And I can figure out ways to show how to make our number of the day, which is 68. So let's think about it for a second. What ways does my brain already know to represent 68? One of the first ways that you can do it is by putting it on a place value chart. When you put that number on the place value chart, like I did right here, I'm breaking down the 6 and the 8, or I'm identifying the 6 and the 8 as either a 10 or a 1. So we have 6 tens and then we have 8 ones. And the place value chart really helped me identify that. Another way that you can do that is by putting them in a number sentence. Now, the first area right here, the first number sentence, this is where you really represent your expanded form. Notice that I wrote down this number. Now, when I put 6 up there, I did not put it as 6. I put it as 60 because 6 is in your tens place. So 6 actually means 60. Then you have 8 ones, you bring it over. So I took 68 and I expanded it into 60 plus 8, and it equals your whole number. Now, I want to take it a step further because I know that I can add, which if you look at this plus symbol right here, there's 4 endpoints. Put them all together. So when you're adding, you put all those numbers together, but I want to switch gears and look at this little symbol right here. That is your minus symbol, and it has 2 ends, which means to take away. Now, when you're taking away, you've got to take away from your whole number, your big number. And we know our big number, our whole number of the day is 68. So let's see, how can I use 68 and take away? Okay. So here, this is what we did. You have 68, take away 8, which we know 8 is in the ones. So I have 68 and I'm taking away 8 of those ones. And it leaves me with what part? 60. So I had 68. I took away all of the 8 ones and it left me with 60. Good job. Now, another way that we can represent 68 is by putting it on a number bond. When you're using a number bond, you're taking that whole number and you're breaking it down to part. I go whole part. Say what? Whole part. Say it again. whole, part. And that is just an easy way to remember your number bond. So if you have 68, and I'm going to break it down to part, whole, part. And keep in mind, when you bring down your parts, you've really got to pay attention to your place value, because that 6 does not mean 6. It actually means 60, because 6 is in the tens place. So 6 tens makes the number 60. Then go back up here, look at your place value for the ones. There's 8 little ones, and you're going to bring that down. That is your number bond. Another way to represent a number is by using tens and ones. So you notice I've got 1 10 stick up there. That's not right. Let's see if we can count. We need 6 tens. If you look right here, we need 6 tens. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now, there are 2 ways you can count that. You can say, just like we did, count them by tens, or go ahead and say, I need 6 10 sticks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're getting the same answer, but there's more than one way to do it. So, I've got my 6 tens. I need my 8 ones. And I want to use that counting on method because my brain already knows there are 6 tens, which makes the number 60. So let's start at 60 and count on with our ones. So we have 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Notice how I went to the next row. 66, 67, 68. That is how you can show the number 68 as tens and ones in a picture using those manipulatives. Remember that vocabulary word? Now, another way that you can show the number 68 is by putting it in word form. When you write it out, you say 6 tens and 8 ones. Or you can write it like this, as just the number, 68. You guys did a really good job with our number talk today, and I'm very proud of you. Keep up the hard work.